If you're lucky, you will attend your mother's funeral. If it happens the other way around, you've been unlucky. Welcome back to Talking with Jazz with your host, BigDaddy0. We're exploring some serious stuff now. We're exploring the life and times of Raul Lopez, my former hairdresser. I wanted to do something to remind me of him, to remind me of the fun we had. But this is a serious one. This was the one that stayed with me. Very, very hard to forget this story. Raul's mother died when he was really young. I don't know the exact date. I wasn't there. He probably told it to me, but it wasn't something I remember. He was probably in school, primary school, maybe 8 or 10, because that would then make sense with the future numbers I'm about to tell you. Anyway, his mother died. I don't know whether his father was part of the story or he wasn't there at all. But needless to say, I got the impression that Raul, back in Brazil, was kind of the man around the house at the age of 8. And so when his mother died, he had to do all the things. I know he had a sister and an auntie as well, and they looked after some of the things that had to be done. And his mother was buried in I think a crypt. Hard to explain because it was probably a Portuguese word which Raul told me and I didn't understand it, but it sounded like a crypt. Sort of a, not so much a hole in the ground, but a sort of a cupboard, if you like. I don't know. It's important. And that must have been, obviously, losing your mother at that age was, an incredible blow. And to not have a mother, because your mother's very, very important. And so to not have a mother for most of your life and to only have some memories of her would have been hard for Raul. And I'm sure it shaped his life. Made him who he was and made impressions on the people that he met. So the story was that when he was about 12, his mother's remains had to be removed from the crypt. It was sort of a tradition of how it's done in Brazil, where you would eventually, after the mourning period was over, I'm sure Raul probably still mourning, but there's kind of a limitation on the number of crypt cupboards there are in Brazil. And so he had to go and pick up the remains. That was the job. So I don't know how he got contacted or whatever, but that's not part of the story. So he had to go there and more or less they handed him a bag, I think, with his mother's bones in it. Now that's a story that I could never forget that one. I'm sure you won't now either. I don't know whether they do that now, but that is what shapes you. That was a character building moment, I'm sure. Why don't you give your mum a call today, if she's still alive, and just tell her that you love her, because she's so bloody good. Even if she's not. Why don't you just have a great day? I hope you enjoyed that story, or at least you learned something. Why don't you subscribe? I make one of these for every day, and you might miss something if you don't subscribe. Something important, because I'm randomly going through things in my mind as they come up. This is my memory. Maybe it's not important, but subscribing will mean you don't miss the notifications, etc. Have a great day.